right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Thank you very much, Kim. Welcome, everybody, to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host, Josh Taylor, in tonight for Rich Walsh. Got plenty to talk about here. Want to get to the Pirates beating the Padres today, 6-3, the final score there. Taking the first two games of this series with the Padres at PNC Park. They've got a shot at a sweep tomorrow with Stephen Brault on the mound. We'll get to that in just a second. I want to talk first about the Penguins today. They make a few more draft picks on the last day of the draft, and a couple of them through trades. I know there have been a lot of discussion about what players might still be on this roster when the draft is over, but it just so happens they did make some trades today, but it was for specifically draft picks. So we're down to a list of about 5 players. I believe it is 5 players that they have. Samuel Poulin, of course, was their first-round pick. Last night, Nathan Legare, their third-round pick. They traded up with Arizona to get Legare. Then in the 5th round, Judd Caulfield. And then in the 7th round, a couple of picks, Valtteri Puustinen from Finland and also Santeri Airola, a defenseman, both of those players from Finland. But if you look at a lot of the pedigree information with these guys, if you look at a lot of consistent things, I see the same 3 things. I see size, I see some speed, and I see some skill. And the speed is something that can probably still be improved. I know Patrick Alvin, the scouting director, talked about maybe some skating needs to be corrected a little bit. Some things may be tweaked, and these guys could be even a little bit faster at the next level. But when you look at this particular group of players, it's obvious that the Penguins are going for a bunch of guys with some skill, but also a little bit bigger that could be more physical type players. Judd Caulfield definitely fits that particular mold. 6'3", 6'4", really big guy, over 200 pounds. He's also a strong defensive presence. He does a lot of defensive zone faceoffs, killed penalties with the U.S. development team. Even though he's actually a capable scorer, he scored only 12 goals, but he was actually a bottom 6 center for the U.S. development team. So he's a guy that might fit that Penguins mold of being an eventual bottom 6, 4th line center, and a guy that could be a lot better for them when he gets here. Now, to be fair, we're not expecting to see any of these guys anywhere near Pittsburgh within the next 2 to 3 years. So it's kind of a little bit early to start wondering what kind of impact they can make here. But it's pretty obvious that they're looking for guys that have size, skill. Patrick Alvin spoke as much, and we ran that soundbite just a couple moments ago during the KDKA News on the CW. So it's pretty obvious where the Penguins were looking. And Jim Rutherford kind of hinted towards it last night after they made the first-round pick to get Samuel Poulin. He said he liked this group in the draft. He said he liked the direction that the board was going in and the kind of talent that was available. So I guess we shouldn't be stunned with the kind of results that we saw. Now let's get to the Pirates. Of course, 6-3 win today. Chris Archer, I think, is the story of the day. Joe Musgrove, of course, 7 innings last night. He gave up only 1 run. Then Archer comes in. He gives up 1 run in 5. And I know a lot of people look at the 5 innings. They say he can't go deep into a game again. And that's been a problem for him all season. But the fact that he holds the Padres to 1 run is an important thing to me. Strikes out 5 guys. But here's the thing that really sticks out. If you were listening to the postgame show on 93.7 The Fan with Dan Zangrilli, he spoke with catcher Kevin Stallings, who got the start today to catch with Archer. Of course, that's been a thing that's been going on for a few starts now. Stallings talked about how they completely scrapped the 2-seamer. Chris Archer didn't throw a single 2-seam fastball in this game. It was all 4-seamers. It was changeups. It was breaking balls, but no 2-seam fastballs. That's been a problem for him all season. So, and Stallings said it was Archer's idea to get rid of the 2-seam fastball. I thought that was something that really stuck out. So it shows that they're trying, or at least Archer and Stallings are trying to find something different, trying to find something that works. And this has been a big topic of discussion between me and my colleague Jason Rollison on the Buccocast, anywhere podcasts are heard. We talked about this extensively the past couple of weeks. What can Chris Archer do differently? What can he do better? And one of the things was not only locating his 4-seam fastball, which he did a lot better today, although it had some moments when it got a little spotty, but it was still somewhat better across the board, and scrap the 2-seamer and see how much better he can be with just that 4-seamer, maybe setting up that slider and that changeup, and we saw much better results today. Plus, we got a couple big runs towards the end of the game. Adam Frazier with a couple of runs driven in with the bases loaded, then they added on from there. So they get enough padding. They go to Michael Feliz in the 9th inning, and he doesn't get out clean, so they have to get 5 pitches out of Felipe Vasquez for him to get the save, but they escape with the 3-run win. So now they have a shot to sweep tomorrow. Stephen Brault is on the mound, who's actually been one of their better starters in the past couple of weeks. He's actually given up only 2 runs in his past 2 starts, and that's 12 2/3 innings. In the meantime, 412-575-2600. That's the number on the Borders and Borders hotline. Give us a call. We'll take a break and we'll answer some calls when we get back. Stick around.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.